So my name is Brett Schneider, and I work with Daniel Chanel over in neurology. I'm a junior, and I'm a biology and psychology major. So in my research, we talk about the left temporal pole, and we look at what kind of role this has. Specifically, it's been connected to naming, so retrieving the name for a specific entity. So it's been connected with faces, melodies, and landmarks. All three of those are connected to the left temporal pole in order to name it when you are presented with this stimuli. However, nobody's actually looked in the reverse order. So what happens if you're presented with the name of something? How do you retrieve this conceptual information? So that's the study that I'm looking at. So the left temporal pole, just to give you kind of a reference, so we have this small brain over here, and in this yellow region, the most anterior portion of that, that's where your left temporal pole is located. So in my task, I run different lesion patients, so patients with different brain damaged areas, and it's all in specific regions of the brain, and they're all mapped accordingly, and I run them through a task. After going through the task, I kind of rate their performance on the task and see which lesion groups had deficits in actually performing this task. So first, they're presented with the stimulus name. So for example, Barack Obama will just appear on the screen. Then I ask them all the information that they can come up with about Barack Obama. So first African-American president would be something specific that could uniquely identify him. And then at the end, I ask them to choose between a multiple choice selection and see if they can actually just understand who Barack Obama is. Now I'd also do this for landmarks and melodies. So here we actually have the results. So there's the conceptual knowledge retrieval scores in the red and blue bars. And right now I've actually tested one left temporal pole patient. So don't know, can't really conclude too much, but actually in this study what's interesting is they haven't showed any deficits at all compared to the normal comparison group. So which is not what I hypothesized, that the left temporal pole is also involved in naming and conceptual knowledge retrieval. However, since this is just one patient, I'm not going to draw any conclusions. So I have a lot more data to go through and a lot more patients to test. However, you can see that the standard naming tests, they did have the expected deficits. So it's just interesting to actually see the individual differences between patients. So why is this important? Why should we actually care what the left temporal pole does? Well, language is a very complex process, and we all use it every day in a subconscious, not even thinking about it manner. So if we can actually determine all the regions associated with this language process, then we can fully understand why we can actually use language and why it's such an innate part of our human nature. So, thank you.